Well, here's the verdict. I've ruined my wife's paint.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching on the Good Wine Zone. Hope everyone is doing great. It's a beautiful morning, kind of overcast. That's a new word I've invented, combining cloudy and overcast. Overcast. Hat of the day, SpaceX. SpaceX is the hat of the day. Thank you to my wonderful son for my birthday present, the new SpaceX hat. Hiding, of course, Jimmy Neutron hair. And shirt of the day, thank you to my beautiful wife for the new Tesla shirt. So today we're going to talk about what not to do to your or your beautiful wife's Tesla. So we've got Tessie in the background. Real quickly, I'm going to tell you that we bought Tessie used, as you probably know from the earlier videos. Took her to get paint protection film, and we were told, hey, you might want to correct some paint first. Had a pretty good chip on the fender, small paint chips on the hood and the bumper. So of course I go to YouTube, the videos, and I say, hey, I can handle this. I bought a touch-up paint kit, which we're about to show you, and I proceeded to completely ruin my wife's paint job, which we're about to show you how I did that. I tried to follow the instructions, but I gave Tessie the measles. So we're about to show you what she looked like with the measles and how we tried to perfect it and the end result. All right, and we'll be right back after that with a wrap-up of how she's back in great shape.
Automotive Touch-Up is the company that we purchased this from. You can see we've got very specific Tesla paint. We got a tiny little black bottle with a brush. We got a pen. We got some clear coat. We got rubbing compound, wet sandpaper, and wet sandpaper of several different strengths, and paint prep surface wipes. Well, here we are. We are going to try and repair some of the damage that we've done to Smokin' Hot's beautiful Model 3. We've got the orbital polisher, and from Automotive Touch-Up, we've got the rubbing compound, and we're going to try and polish out, see what happens to these awful places, whoops, that we've done in ruining, see if we've ruined this paint, which I think we have. But let's see if we can't make it look a little better, as I'm the only one here holding the camera. Let's see if we can get a stand set up, but for right now, I'm going to set it down and we'll work on a section and see what we get. All right, after just a brief time with the rubbing compound, it's done a wonderful job to shine up the area that was not sanded, but all the little spots are still showing up. So I'm taking now I've got some old turtle wax polishing compound, not rubbing compound. I'm going to give that a try and see if that makes any difference. First of all, the old orbital polisher, which I've had since before my son was born, and he's 25. Black & Decker 8-inch random orbital polisher. It's falling apart. It's making noises. It's spitting out pieces of plastic and metal that I guess are the fins that are breaking apart inside. It no longer holds the pad well. I'm afraid it's going to drill a hole through the car. So we're done with that. Is it making a difference? Yes, because there's the unpolished side. There's the polished side. you still see the places where I sanded down into the clear coat, which is, I know. But look at the fender. The fender where, all this could have been avoided when all I needed to do was see, I can't even find, there it is. There's the place where I repaired the chip. And you can't even tell it. It's perfect. Because I polished it out. If I had just repaired the chip, all of this would be wonderful. It's not the chip. It's these other little scratches in places that I hit with the touch-up pen that are causing the problem. Anyway, point is, the fender, yes, it has problems, but it looks really a lot better. So now the question is, if I take a wax and I wax this after I've polished it, will that make a difference? Does it need more polish? If I go and purchase another polisher, or if I find some attachment for my grinder, will that help? Question number one. And number two, what will wax do? So I'm going to get some wax. I'm going to wax the little section. See what that looks like. I'll be back. All right, so we have waxed a section, and you can definitely see the places where, I've sanded through the clear coat through that wet wax, which tells me, I don't know what it tells me. It tells me it's going to be different. But man, look at the fender. The fender, though, you don't have so much that issue, which really makes me mad, because had I stuck to the fender, I would have touched up the chip, the original intent of this whole project, and I would not have messed up the rest of it. The only thing that bothers me about the wax is if I'm going to paint it anyway, all this wax has to come back off with another, run of the polisher. I think some more polishing compound or rubbing compound to get the wax off. But we may take it to the man if that happens. So let's let this dry to a haze, and we'll come buff it out. By hand, unfortunately, I guess, since my orbital polisher is gone. We'll be back. Well, here's the verdict. I've ruined my wife's paint. Had I only done the chip, there's the chip. That's the chip part right there. One little spot. And instead of 2 white dots, it would have been okay to have one little smudge. But I've ruined the hood. I'm very disappointed in myself. I have done the rubbing compound, the polishing compound, and waxed it. And this is what we have. This is the non-polished. This is polished and waxed. So there is a difference. I guess what the difference is, the polishing compound got some of these outer scratches, off. Rubbed them out, making it a smaller area. So here's step number 8 or whatever I'm on. I'm going to go to the auto parts store. So let's go look at orbital sanders. And let's come back, and I might as well do the whole front, with the polishing compound. Throw some wax on it, polish that off. And while I am at the auto parts store, look in here and show you, we are paint what does it say there? Focus P8S8. Focus. It's not going to focus. Paint code P8S8. I may get an aerosol can of paint and see if I can get myself in any more trouble. Truthfully, what if I I don't know. What if I try to, is it impossible to try to put tape around that and just spray those little areas? I mean, it makes more sense to have the whole thing done, doesn't it? But I don't know. Maybe I can make it look at least a little better until that can be done. But that's what needs to be done. This is a vote for paint protection film, period. I think it's worth it. I don't know what it's going to cost to get this painted, but I guarantee you it's more than $1,650, which is what it would have cost to put the paint protection film on it. All right, well, I could just stand here and be disappointed, but that would do nobody good. So let's move on. Here's the story of how we got Tessie back in good shape. Now look at this wonderful paint job. We're back like glass on the hood. You can just see the reflections of the trees and the clouds. We've got the fender all in great shape. We've got the door in great shape. We'll go around to the other side. Look at there. She's a little dirty, but she's in great shape. So what we did is we called Country Financial, our insurance company that insures all of our cars and has for years. A very interesting conversation with Country because we had to go online and complete the, what do you call it? Complete the, when you file a claim. And it's just, check the boxes. And the only box that fit, there's not an accident, not a theft, but I chose vandalism. And what happened? Well, I vandalized my car, and they called me up and they said, but you inflicted that damage intentionally. It's like, no, the act was intentional. The damage I caused was not intentional. So they worked with me, and after a deductible, we took it back to our friends at Classic Car Motoring, and they did a wonderful job of painting it, and so she's back in great shape. So what not to do to your wife's Tesla? I don't know. You guys may have the skills to touch up paint on your own. Next time, I will be taking it to the professionals. Hey, I hope you have a wonderful day, and see you next time on the Good Wine Zone.